All right, so Joette, we just want to thank you so much for your time. We know that you are busy, everybody is busy, and we really appreciate the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and provide this platform for our members to get to know you a little bit better. So thank you for being with us here today. Go ahead.
Yeah, great. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, so the way that this process is going to work is I've got 5 questions here that I will read to you, and then we've got 2 minutes for each question just to try to keep these somewhat concise. And you see the timer there on your screen, and so you can kind of keep an eye on that. Otherwise, it will kind of beep at the end of your 2 minutes there. I'm going to post these questions in the chat so that you have them just to reference, rather than repeating the question or whatnot, which I'm also happy to do, but just to give you kind of a visual on those. And in the beginning here, we're going to turn the time over to Lonnie. We'll have you do a quick introduction, and then we'll do the questions, and then chat a little bit at the end. So that's kind of the schedule of how this goes. Any questions about that?
How much, when I introduce myself, do you want me to just introduce myself, or do you want me to talk a little bit about why I'm running, or do you want me to just say who I am and my background? How do you want to do that so that we don't take up too much time?
You'll have 2 minutes to kind of give an introduction, however you want to do it.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, so I'm just getting these questions situated here. Do you see those in the chat? Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to turn the time over to Lonnie here.
Hey, Joette, thank you again for joining us. As you probably know or may not know, the Moab Chamber has Moab businesses interest at heart. So all of our 5 questions will be business related questions. We do ask that you try to focus your answers on the businesses of our community. So we will give you 2 minutes. We do ask you to try to stay within the 2-minute timer just to keep it fair for all of our other candidates. At the very end, I will have one last question after Lacey goes through her questions.
Okay.
That will just be a quick answer for you. But again, we do appreciate you taking time to do this, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say. And with that, let's start with just a quick 2-minute introduction of yourself.
Okay, thank you. My name is Joette Langianese, and I'm running for mayor of Moab City. I've lived in Moab for 24 years on the west side. Love this place. I think like all of us do that live here. And the primary purpose for me running for mayor is because I feel over the last couple of years, particularly with the pandemic, that we all feel a little lost in the community, and that there's just a lot going on. We've all kind of hidden away in our little caves during the pandemic, and I feel it's really important that our residents' voices are heard, and that includes businesses. And I feel it's really important that we are able to share our opinions with our elected officials, and that we are heard. I also feel as though my experience is very important right now. We all know that there's some challenges going on with the city, and I have experience serving on the Grand County Council for 8 years. I continue to work with the county on the Healthcare Special Service District as its chair, and also have been very involved with lobbying to get the tailings pile moved, which is also a huge economic engine for our community right now. And I currently am employed by the Friends of Arches and Canyonlands Parks, which is a nonprofit organization, philanthropic partner with the National Park Service. So I'm very well connected. I've been involved in a lot of different areas within the community, and I feel my experience and leadership is what is needed to get the city kind of over this little growing pain that we're going through right now.
Great. Thank you so much. I will go ahead then with our questions if you're ready to roll.
Yeah, let me make sure. Okay, okay, all right, I'm ready.
All right. All right. So the first question, what role do you think our local government should play in the growth and development of local business?
I think our local government needs to be involved in the growth and the development of local business, particularly in the diversification of our economy. We all know that tourism is the driving force right now, and we all know that it's very important for us to look at other ways to make sure our economy continues to grow and develop. We all saw what happened last year when the pandemic hit and everything shut down. That was a huge eye opener, I think, for everybody, that this is not sustainable. If something like that would happen again, we really need to be prepared, and we need to have other opportunities for our residents to be involved in outside of the tourist industry. Now, I'm not saying that the tourist industry isn't important. I feel like we've done a great job in that regard. I think there's more that we can do, and I think local government needs to be a part of that conversation.
Great, thank you. All right, number two, given the recent budget deficit discussions at the city, what are your ideas on how to optimize the budget to benefit our community now, as well as set us up for the future?
That is a very good question. And, you know, without being really involved in the budgetary process, it's hard to really know what changes and what areas we need to really be focusing on. I do believe that there has been some budgetary issues in terms of how the city is being run in terms of staffing. I'm not, you know, I need to get more detail about all of that, but it seems like we may have gone a little bit over what we needed to do in terms of making sure that the city is able to run effectively. And so I just feel it's very important for us to be on top of the budget. And I think that we will be able to get that under control. We've got new leadership coming in. We have a new city manager that's going to be appointed probably after the first of the year. It's time to start fresh. We've got a new mayor. We've got a new two new city council members. And I think seeing the issues that face the community this last couple of years and the city, it's important for us to really get down deep and get our hands dirty and make some really tough decisions. I will say the property tax discussion that came up toward, you know, just a few months ago, the timing was wrong for that. I'm not saying that property taxes is not something that should be discussed in the future, but I think it needs to be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more specific than the way that it was presented to us a few months ago.
Great, thank you. All right, third question. In the business community, we are seeing similar problems with commercial space as we are residential in terms of affordability and availability, making it difficult for new and or diverse businesses to establish themselves. What are your thoughts on possible solutions for this issue?
This is a really good question, and I've had conversations with some of my colleagues out there about this particular issue. And I really feel that one of the big opportunities that we have is the tech community and getting people that work at home. And affordability is a problem. And I really like the idea of like in business pods, similar to what we see down in San Juan County with the industrial complexes they have down there. I think there's a way that we could do pods where people can come to work, a group of people in the same building, but focusing on their particular business. And, you know, and there's ways to do that. I know they do that in the city. I've been into places in Salt Lake City where they do that. I think if you group people together in like a business complex, then you can reduce the cost, because there's just not a whole lot of places left in Moab where businesses can open up. So most of it's going to have to be either out of the home or in a business complex where people can rent the space at an affordable rate and they can conduct their business from there. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning, a lot of where we're seeing business go is with technology. And I think by having a space where more people can work in the same space doing their individual businesses is the way to go.
Great, thank you. All right, fourth question. In our city, there are divides between opinions, particularly around the economy. How have you found compromise and built unity in the past? And how do you plan on doing that in the future, specifically with the economic growth of Moab?
Well, I probably could go on for a lot longer than 2 minutes to answer this question, but the way you build those kind of conversations is through collaboration. The Tailings Project for me is a huge example. The Moab Area Partnership for Seniors is the other one. And I'll start with that one. We got together when I was elected in 2000. I was asked, what do you want to do? And my background is in gerontology, and I felt it was really important for us to support our senior community and at the same time encourage the retirement community to come here by providing resources available to them. So we purchased that piece of property right in the middle of town off of Williams Way. We hired a consultant. We brought in many community members. We had different subcommittees that focused on different aspects of that project. And then we came up with a plan. And the plan is it takes a long time to do these kind of projects. And so it's important to recognize that. We still aren't done with that project, but we have a brand new hospital. We have a brand new long-term care facility. We have they're not brand new anymore, but they're new. And we have a senior center. We've got affordable senior housing, and we have 8 more acres that we plan to also develop for housing purposes and maybe some retail. So the key to being successful is to collaborate, bring people together, get everybody on the same page, and then come up with a plan. We did the same with the Tailings Project. And I only have 22 seconds left, but that's another great example of how community citizens got together and came up with a plan and continue to oversee what's happening out there to make sure that it's done correctly and that the future of that project is going to be something that benefits the community once it's completed. There you have it. That was fast, but I could go on forever on that topic.
That was great. Thank you. All right. Fifth question here. Economic diversification in Moab's tourism-based economy has been the topic of many local government discussions. What would your approach to diversification be in relation to the current established industry?
So I'm assuming you're talking about when you say established industry, tourism industry. Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Okay, so what would we do to diversify in relationship to the current established? This is a question that I'm obviously stumbling around about because I don't really see any opportunity to diversify the tourist economy anymore. I think our local businesses have done a fantastic job in providing options for the tourism, for our visitors to come and do whatever they would like to do. If you've traveled around the United States, which some of us haven't had the opportunity to do, you'll see a lot of the similar things that we're doing here in Moab. However, I feel that we've been a lot more successful in that our businesses have been able to kind of morph into what the next thing is in terms of getting visitors excited about coming here and having different opportunities to recreate in the community. It's with zip lining or UTVs, which is a whole nother topic, or hiking or guided tours or river rafting. We have a lot of variety and a lot of options, which a lot of other gateway communities don't have those options. So I think we've really done a really good job in making sure that our visitors have a lot of options when they come here to visit. So I don't know that we really need to do much more. I think we've been successful in that realm, quite honestly.
Great, thank you. I'm going to turn the time back over to Lonnie here.
All right, Joette, thank you for those answers. To kind of finish this up, I just have one last question. It's a bonus question that I've thrown in for everyone. In a minute or less, tell us why the business community should vote for you.
I think the business community should vote for me because of my past history and what I have done to promote other opportunities within the community outside of the tourism sector. As I mentioned before, the tailings pile is huge. That employs 135 people. The MAPS project with the hospital, the long-term care facility, the Grand Center, senior housing. Those are also amenities that people that come here to live, to start a business, want to have. So it might not be directed towards the business community as here's what you can do business. It's an amenity for businesses to be able to utilize so that they want to come here and start a new business. So that's my spiel with the business community. I really feel like I've done a lot, and I'm willing to continue to do more to help support having new businesses come to our community.
Perfect.
Great.
And I could add the housing situation, but I didn't get to that, because housing is a big issue for businesses too. I mean, how are they going to come here if they can't find any place to live? But my time's up. So.
Right. Yes. Housing is definitely.
I wanted to keep it positive. That's not a real
I know. Well, and we didn't do any specific housing questions because we know that that's like the number one question that everybody is asking already.
Yeah. So, well,
all right.
From me, thank you. I hope I answered.
Thank you so much. So I'll tell you, we are going to, once everybody's had the chance to do these interviews, we'll release them all at the same time.
Okay.
And we'll do that. We'll put them on our web page, as on our website, as well as our social media, and send it out to our members in like our email blast. And I'll let you know when we're doing that.
Okay.
Hopefully next week. We have a few that we still need to get under our belt, but I'll let you know. And then if you have any questions before then, or any time, and anything that the chamber can do for you, just please let us know.
Yep. Very good. Thanks so much, Lacey and Lonnie. And
thank you.
Working with you, even if I'm not elected, I continue to want to have a relationship with you guys on other issues that I deal with. So thank you.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.